this is a touchy subject that people don't want to talk about, but suicide's interesting, and I've seen a lot in my work and in my life. Not because I'm suicidal in the sense that I want to end my life tomorrow or today, right? But what's the definition of that, right? You know, like, I just talked about self-harm, and this is such an interesting subject because at what point does it quantify as suicide, you know? Whether it takes 30 years to do it, or it takes, you know, like 2 days, or a day, or 5 seconds, right? To jump in front of a car. You know, I feel like if you drink alcohol, a lot of it, continuously, I feel like in a sense you're suicidal, right? I mean, you could qualify that as suicidal. I don't see the difference. It just takes a little bit longer. So, I don't know, like I talked to, I mean, it's so dependent on your circumstance, right? There's a lot of elderly, you know, in the hospital. You know, I do hospice, right? So we help people pass without pain. You know, this is so interesting to talk about, but, you know, we give people morphine, so as they pass, they're without pain, and they do it through natural means. Natural meaning their body just can't breathe anymore, or they aspirate, meaning they kind of choke on their own saliva. It gets so thick that they're not able to breathe through their airway anymore, and then they pass out and then pass away. But I mean, is that okay because they're old, right? Is it okay because they've suffered so much? So say with a child with leukemia, he's or she has suffered so much, so it's okay for them to want to die. It's okay for them to let go. I feel like we shouldn't be so judgmental for people that have suffered so much mentally, or who have gone through so much depression. As someone who's going through deep depression right now, I can understand their view. I can understand where the mind would get to that point where it wants to let go. In the same sense that when someone who's 95 years old and has suffered so much for the last 20 years of their life, constant suffering, and have lost all faculties, the ability to wipe themselves, the ability to go to the bathroom, that they would want to let go. And we as a society are like, okay, that's okay to want to let go at that point. What about the people that don't make it till they're 20 and want to let go then? I mean, in my opinion, right, the first answer is there's so much left to do. But as someone who's going through depression, you feel like sometimes there's nothing left to do, right? That there's no more that you can possibly contribute than what you've already contributed. And that's a tough spot to be in, especially when you're all alone, and you don't have friends, you don't have family. In my job, I can't get friends right now. I work the night shift for my job alone. There's no social there. And I feel like I'm not good for anyone to be a friend, that I'm a bad influence for people, that I'm a bad influence for my own kids. So as someone who's been there, And as a nurse, how do you judge someone in that position, you know? You clearly haven't been there. And I'm not saying that it's okay, right? But I understand, you know? I know how low and empty it gets. And I don't like it. It feels hopeless and inescapable. Like there's nothing left good to do. And no, it's not because there's not good in the world, but there's nothing left good in yourself. You can't feel good anymore. You can't see it anymore. Not that it's not there, but why is it worth living if there's nothing if you can't feel anymore, right? You can't derive pleasure from things anymore. It's just a lot of nothingness. You're just breathing. Your brain is just telling your lungs to just inflate again. To keep on going without purpose, without consequence, without making any difference to anyone. So I understand, you know? I feel like we could do more to talk about it. As a nurse, you know, we look for these things, right? In other people. We look to see if they're depressed. When you're sick and when you're hurting physically, right? It's not a good spot to be in, and so you can get depressed and you can feel alone. But what about the people that don't have anything physically wrong with them? You know? It's easy to put on a face. It's not easy, but it's doable to put on a face to make it seem like you're okay when you're not on the inside. We could do better. We could do better at reaching out. And I don't know if the answer is that there's more to do or whatever. For me, what I tell myself is that life is full of ups and downs, and I've had a lot of ups. I've had a lot of downs. And even though I don't hope or can't see the up, it doesn't mean it's not there. Even though I can't see the end of my suffering right now, it doesn't mean that it's not going to end. Even though I'm hopeless right now, it doesn't mean that it's not going to end. Things change all the time. Our government changes all the time. Society changes all the time. People can change. We change all the time. Our brains can adapt to things and can readapt to new situations. It's just how we're built. I'm breathing right now until the day that comes when I can find a new change to adapt to. And hopefully it's a good change. Hopefully it lets me feel again. And get over this deep low, this deep pit that I'm in that I don't see a way out of. That I can't seem to have the strength to do on my own.